trying to expand globally. Long curly hair and a beard, but he ain't Toby Keith. You might have thought it's beef, but we gon' handle that. Stealing jerseys off of the wall like fuck Vanderjack. Okay, he ran with that, and now he's on the loose. Put a little bit of poison in his Jamba Juice. Go ahead and drink on that, just take another sip. Need an appraisal? Shout out to Ron Huff and Dick. The kids loving this, I know you heard it, son. The purpose is perfect, every person we learn something from. Go ahead and come along, we have a little fun. A few questions, how about 31?
Man, every time I just realize that is the dopest intro in all of podcast world. There's bigger podcasts, there's better podcasts, but nobody has a better intro than we have here at the 31. So yeah, we're back. You know, I'm giving this shit to you guys every single day. Hopefully help you guys get through this bullshit coronavirus. Yeah, we'll just keep going through it. It's weird. This sucks. I'm never depressed, and I go through little bouts of depression throughout the day of I was used to a routine, and this sucks. But I'm starting a new routine that I look forward to, which is putting out a podcast for you guys, and then getting nice messages, and people are buying the book. Shout out to Brian Augustad. He sent me a great message, like, hey, man, what can I do? You know, should I join the Patreon? Should I buy a book? Can I just send you money? Which I thought was cool. And but don't just send me money. I want to. There's a lot of comics doing shit. Whatever. It's a hard time for everybody, but I'm so proud of this book. So feel free to join the Patreon. Those of you on the Patreon, I hope you got your special Chancellor birthday shout out. I just thought it was so funny. So those on the Patreon know what I'm talking about and how magical Chancellor is. Where's my Chancellor button? Oh, that's not it. But anyway, shout out to everybody out there doing it. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to everybody that bought the book. I'm not going to just run it down, but you guys know who you are. I'm sending a bunch of sending autographed books, some 31 stickers. You know, Alfredo bought one, Brian, Keith, Jessica, Trent, Robin. Shout out to Robin, Olivia, Kaylee, Adam, Richard, Andrew, Coleman, Kyle, Jacqueline, Christy. Shout out to Christy. She made me laugh so hard. Mark, Noma, John, Lizzie, everybody, on and on. Thanks, guys. We're getting through this together. If I can help you, just let me know. I'm easy to get a hold of. If you just want to call and bullshit with me, you can call me and we'll talk. You know, Cameron knows. Cameron calls me sometimes and we just bullshit. So I have nothing but time. If I'm not recording a podcast to give you guys, you can call me and I'll try to make you laugh or cheer you guys up, and we'll all get through this shit together. I have no answers of what's going on. I don't read any of this shit. I don't listen to shit. All I'm going to say on it is this is unprecedented. I can't even say the word, but you know what I mean. This shit's never happened. So I'm just going day by day, because people will say, here's what I think. People say we'll be out a month, 2 months, 6 months, whatever. And they have to be as cautious as they can, which is good. But none of us fucking know what's going to happen. I just wake up the next day, hope nobody I care about is sick or hurting, and try to make some content and be happy. But that's what I do every day. I mean, as weird as it is, But anyway, I'm rambling. I know this shit is messing everybody up, but all I'm saying is if you need me, I'm here, and the support has been incredible. So just thank you guys so much. I know I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I'm walking around with a smile on my face. I'm getting nice messages. People are buying the book, which I'm so proud of. We're putting out content. People can't say no to me on doing the podcast. So we are rocking and rolling, and we got, let me, kaboom.
Whoa, kaboom!
Let me get a little, some annoying sound effects, just to get us fired up. And I got to shout out to Brother George. I don't know how bad this is, but I've given out Brother Bill's phone number to a couple people because he's obviously blocked me, and they got through to him, and they talked to Brother Bill, and Brother Bill sent me messages. So hopefully Brother Bill will be on the next episode of Craig's Chaos. We can patch this out. Let him know I'm not a homo. Let him know I'm his friend. And whatever crazy shit's in his world, we'll talk about it. But that's enough of this bull, blah, 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 blah. My guest this week, or today, is a very funny Fahim Anwar. Fahim Anwar. I never know if I say it right because I have another friend who's named Anwar, but then I always say Anwar. But anyway, my guest is Fahim. He is, if you don't know Fahim, we plug it on here. His hour special is free on Comedy Central. I think he's, and this is no bullshit, and I get a little on his nuts in this, but I think he's an incredible writer. He's so funny, great performer, and he's the best dancer I've ever seen. That's not like on TV. So I really think he belongs on Saturday Night Live. I pushed for him on that. He told me a great story, but I couldn't get it out of him on the podcast, but I know he got to go audition for Saturday Night Live, but it didn't happen this last time, so hopefully it will this next time. But he's a great dude, Seattle guy, smart, funny, just an all-around good dude. So support him, and like I said, if you're looking for something to watch, trust me, we got to watch this one. As in, we already watched it. You guys got to watch this one. But that's enough of me rambling. I love you guys. We'll have a Dead to Us or Craigslist Chaos. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Here comes the interview right now. I had to squeeze one more in. Sorry about that. And it's another day stuck in the house, but hopefully a little more content to get you guys through this shitty time. Hope everybody's doing good. I got an awesome episode for you today. My guest is a comedian. He's an actor. To me, he's the best dancer in the world. You've seen him on Conan.
Hey, thanks, man.
Seth Meyers. And he has an hour special on Comedy Central that is streaming for free right now on Comedy Central's YouTube page. So go check it out. You will love him. My guest is Fahim Anwar. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me.
It's awesome they put your special up.
I know. That just happened today.
I saw that.
In the midst of all this Corona stuff, just randomly, my buddy's like, hey, they just threw your special up on the YouTube channel for free. I'm like, oh, dope.
So, and it's great. I've watched it. It's great. I recommend it. So you guys, instead of watching, you guys all have seen Love is Blind and all that shit already. So go check out, get an hour of laughter because it's a great special. And it's cool how it's just like on YouTube now and ad free. Because I see it up on my YouTube. There's a million ad breaks and everything. But this one's just clean all the way through. And that's nice. It feels like that's where the stand-up's going. I see how good Sam did with his. And hopefully by the time we come out of this, you'll have a ton of new fans that have seen your stuff. So
maybe the Corona's the best thing to ever happen in my career. It's just everyone. I know it's really testing everyone else. But for me, it's been a real godsend. Everyone's forced to watch TV. The thing comes out.
It's perfect.
It's the perfect time.
It's perfect. Well, yeah, you know what? Plug real quick where everybody can find you.
The special just dropped on Comedy Central Stand-Up's YouTube page. So, yeah, even if you just type Fahim Anwar, there's no business like show business. That's the name of the special. It'll probably pop up. Yeah. And then I'm on Instagram and all that shit, Fahim Anwar.
So give him a follow. Go watch the special. Don't bother with the comments. I'm in podcast mode, but fuck YouTube comments. God knows what people are writing.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Dude, like, if you just want to feel bad about yourself, do a deep dive. I almost, those Lord of the Rings, like, battle teams? I just wanted to do a sketch where a guy's, like, saying goodbye to his family. Like, he's like, I'm going into the YouTube comment section. And then it just cuts to,
It's the truth. I made that mistake one time, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool," and boom. I was like, "All right, we'll never do that again."
No piece of art you put out there is just overwhelmingly like, "This is great."
Yeah, that's
no one is ever. That's sort of like part of the deal of creating art is that's just part of it. That's the lotto ticket. You're gonna get. I love this and I hate this.
Yeah. But it's training yourself. Well, like I said, I just don't look. But back then, when I did look, it's like I could get 30 likes.
Like when you're younger and stuff, because like you already have this imposter syndrome, and like you're trying to convince yourself. And then when you see that, all you needed, I always had this thought too, like it's funny. Oh, these trolls! You think you're worse than the voice in my head?
Yeah, no shit.
No, I have the ultimate hater in my head. You don't hold a candle to what this guy says.
Yeah, that is so true.
This guy's got a front row seat.
That's funny. Yeah, I got
It
to.
lives in my brain. You're outside my body, at least.
Yeah. I got that troll's the one that's going to haunt a lot of us during this shutdown.
I wish there was more of you. I can handle you.
That's funny. All right, here we go. You ready? Question number 1. We're coming in hot.
All right.
Where are you from, and where's the best place to eat in your hometown?
Ooh, okay. All right. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I mean, the burbs, but nobody knows the burbs, so I say Seattle.
Uh-huh.
And best place to eat. That's tough, man. Let's see. I didn't eat out a ton when I was. I mean, okay, there were some I'll give you 2 for seafood, and maybe I'll get shit on because there's a million great places to get seafood in Seattle. But like, me and my bro, we always like to go to Ivers on the water. It's just like a great view, one by U District. So we would do that.
Uh-huh.
Ivers, and then I'm trying to think. What was that? Oh yeah, Aladdin's in U District for Euros.
Oh, that sounds
That was always
great.
dope. Did you ever go to Aladdin?
No, but I love Euros, man. I used to.
Oh yeah.
My old house, there
For
used to be a Euro truck outside every night, and I would clobber Euros. It just brought up the real sadness I have as I miss Euros. But
Oh man, no, nothing to be ashamed about.
yeah,
Oh, those are the 2 off the dome, I guess.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. Where's another place? Hold on, there might be one other. Man, I forget. But yeah, oysters and shit. The seafood's great out there.
What about Dick's? Were you a Dick's fan?
I mean, it's reminiscent of like, you know how McDonald's progressed or whatever. Dick's is like, let's stay in this decade. You know, it's just like every other chain moved past the 50s, and Dick's was like, we'll stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all right,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things of the lore is part of it as well.
For sure. I was just say, I bet tourists are really keeping it alive, because when I went there, I was like, oh, I got to stop and eat at Dick's. And then that was like the first 2
I love
times.
Burger Master. Like, I fuck with Burger Master, dude.
That's good. I don't know if I've tried that.
Oh, yeah. I used to get the French dip at Burger Master.
All right. Next time.
Yeah.
Growing up in Seattle, what was your favorite toy as a child?
Let's see, favorite toy. I'm trying to think here. You remember Fast Tracks at all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I got Fast Tracks. And I would have to set it up in the garage, so I would just be freezing, playing with these loopy loops. It was the only place I could set it up. So I had to really, like, earn my playtime, just no room for it in the house. And then, this is kind of a weird toy. Some people might not remember it. Remember, this is like the dumbest thing now that I'm older, that this is an actual toy. Do you remember Balzac?
No. Wait, what is it?
I'm
Balzac.
like the only kid who bought this shit. Yeah, Balzac.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
I mean, it sounds like Balzac.
Yeah.
Where it was basically just a cloth cover for a balloon.
Yeah. I do remember
that shit? You would put a balloon into it, and then and it just gave the balloon some weight.
Yeah.
So you could actually, it was like a lightweight soccer ball, or you'd actually play with it instead of it being too lofty.
Yeah. And then me and my brother would see how many times we could keep it up over and over.
Oh, for sure. Oh, man. That was a great game.
Diving into like coffee tables and shit that I probably didn't need to do.
I used to have this bit where I'd be like, when I was a kid, I thought I was going to experience a lot more lava than I've ended up experiencing as an adult. Like, I thought lava was going to be a way bigger part of my life.
Yeah. Well, what's the age gap between you and your brother?
3.5.
Oh, yeah. So my brother's
So, it's kind of a nice age gap, because when we're younger, there's a little bit of that, like, you're a baby, because, like, the years are multiplied when you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
When you get older, no one's like, I'm not going to hang out with the guy. He's 2 years younger than me. He's a baby.
Yeah.
Like an 80-year-old's not like, I'm not going to hang out with a 78-year-old. You can't keep up.
Yeah. Yeah. 3.5.
But when you're younger, yeah.
Yeah. 3.5's about perfect. Well, then did you guys go to high school together for 1 year or no?
No. I mean, elementary school, we share a lot of that. And then not the, I think we moved kind of in the middle of high school. So he went to one, and then I ended up going to this other school system where his was 4 years for high school, and then mine was like 3 years. So it got fucked up.
Yeah. See, mine was 3 years too, but so I got to have 1 year with my little brother, but I think he would have preferred to not have me around. Looking back, I was dickhead sometimes, but I guess older brother. I thought I was doing the right thing, but who knows? Who's the first autograph you've ever got?
Dang, I'm trying to think. Dude, okay, I think, do you remember Tim Noah at all?
No. What do you play?
He used to do these like kid songs. He was like a kid song singer or whatever. And when I was a kid, I loved Tim Noah. And I think my mom took me to this Tim Noah concert. And then I vaguely remember it. I don't know, but I must have gotten an autograph from him.
That's awesome.
And then one time I bumped into Ruben Patterson at the mall. He was a player on the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah.
And we got his autograph.
The Kobe Stopper is what he used to call himself.
Nickname?
Yeah, that's what he called himself.
Oh, he calls himself. The best is when you give yourself that nickname. The Kobe Stopper. That's how you know it's not true, when you give yourself a nickname.
Yeah. Wait, have you ever had a nickname?
What, me?
Yeah.
Trying to think. Nah, there was one kid in school who called me Fajim, but that was just him.
Yeah, just one person. That's just a kid.
That doesn't count.
Being a dickhead.
I think that's not a nickname. That's just being an asshole. Right?
What did you do on your 21st birthday?
Fuck, dude. It was probably I don't remember it. That's how boring it was. It was
really?
probably just like another birthday. Yeah, it's probably with my family. Just at the house. Yeah, very chill.
That's good. It's weird with comics. They have one or two answers. Most of them really said they had chill birthdays, and then some of them went crazy. But were you doing stand-up at that time?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was 18 when I started, so I was already kind of deep into it.
Yeah, so then birthdays lose value, unfortunately, as comedy. At least for me, I'm like, oh, is it a performance day or not a performance day when my birthday falls?
Dude, you know how when you're trying to get stage time when you're younger, you use every birthday as an opportunity to get stage time?
Yeah.
My birthday show. Just everything's an excuse.
Only way I could draw a crowd in the beginning. Get people to come out. It's like, oh yeah, it's my birthday, so you have to come.
Like, Brandt, how many birthdays do you have this year?
Shit, I wasn't smart enough back then I could at least got 2 out of it.
I know.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Man, I don't really do karaoke. I kind of know my limitations. I'm a better dancer. I should backup dance for people doing karaoke. I've never thought, but I should get on it. But I think every person should have one go-to karaoke song that they can smash.
Yeah. Because you can just get thrown up.
Yeah.
I hate it, but then sometimes people are like, you got to go. And then I don't know if I smash it, but I can get through it, which is... I'm thinking I would probably need a song where I feel less vulnerable, where it's like me playing the role of a guy singing this song, and then I could probably smash it. Mm-hmm. Like I would probably do Tears for Fears or something, where I just put on some, or like Everyone Wants to Rule the World. Because then you can do like a British affectation, and then it's like not bad. You're like, is this good? Is this jokey? It's in this blurry. You can't be called out for being a bad singer because people don't know if this is for real or not. Yeah, no, that's a great
strategy. Like, just let it all out. These are the things. You know what I mean? You're like, is this real? Is this good?
Yeah.
Or is this a character?
No, the gray area is where I thrive. I'm stealing that one. Most people say they do like sing-along songs to get through it, but I think that's a great strategy. Because then if it's bad, you can just be like, I was joking, yeah. I was playing a guy being bad at singing. I'm not the guy bad at singing. No, that's a great strategy. What's the most money or coolest thing you've ever won? Man, most money or coolest thing? I haven't won anything. I think I won like tickets to a Mariners game at Boys and Girls Club back in the day. And this is, I'm trying to think what else. This isn't really winning anything, but I used to
used to steal the Monopoly pieces from my paper route, and I would get free McDonald's food.
Nice.
That's like my own version of McMillions.
You didn't get anything bigger than food? You never won like a jet ski or something cool? From the McDonald's?
Low key, man. It's like Goodfellas. You don't buy the car after the job. You got to lay low. So, Big Macs and fries, some shakes here and there. Never a jet ski.
How old were you when you were doing the paper route?
What was my Brett? Let's see. So I delivered this paper called Enterprise, and it was like a voluntary paper. You could pay for it or you could not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the thing was you would see this young kid with a pouch of papers biking in the rain and all that, and you would feel like an asshole not giving him $2 a month, you know?
Yeah, of course.
But there were some people who just didn't give a shit and would still get their voluntary paper. I hated those people because you still have to deliver the paper to these people who are just gaming the system. It's like you have no soul. But yeah, I had my own route, and then my brother was doing his. His was the better one. For some reason, it's always like there's a dope paper route, and then it gets handed down. It's like old money or something, like a estate or something. Like it was probably my cousin's before him, and then it was his, and then it became mine when he got too old for it. And then he had some good houses on the route.
That's funny. Yeah, I used to help my buddy do it, and I don't know why my parents never let me get a paper route, but I always thought it was fun. It was so fun. I wanted to just ride with him, but then I get in trouble for like throwing a paper on the roof or some shit, and then he took it very serious, but it was always fun. Let's see here. What's the weirdest thing you've ever had happen with a roommate?
Oh, okay. So, I lived at home for a long time. I was going to engineering school, and I didn't live on campus or anything. I just lived in my parents' house all the way through college. And then I got a degree in mechanical engineering, and I just applied to jobs in Southern California to get me out here. Because the plan was always get a degree and then move out to LA for this comedy thing, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I applied to jobs, and Long Beach Boeing was the closest I can get to LA. I'm like, all right, cool, that's good enough. So I got a job there. And I needed a place to stay. I had never lived with anyone, so I looked on Craigslist for places. And there's this roommate situation. I go in, and what was happening, it was like this guy and his buddy's engaged to this girl or whatever. And so the single buddy is moving out, and he owns the place. But I would be taking his place. So it would be me, his buddy, and his fiance in this apartment or whatever, or condo. And I don't know any better. I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's good. They seem fine. But then once I was in it, it was just the worst thing in the world because it's like they're a couple and I'm just a dude and I don't know them at all. At least his buddy knew him. I'm just like a guy. I feel like I've died or something and I'm a ghost just watching this couple's life. Because I'd come home from work and they're just canoodling on the couch. And I'm like, I guess and I'm eating a Subway sandwich on my bed just because I don't want to be out there with them.
Yeah.
I have a TV in my room and shit. But it was just like the worst situation and circumstances.
Yeah. So you just rented a room.
And then they would throw, pretty much. Oh yeah, we're all paying the same rent too. Like them two combined are paying $800, and I'm paying $800. So the situation sucks, and then financially, that realization of I'm financially getting fucked as well.
Yeah.
So that sucks. And then they would like have these they're just kind of rude or inconsiderate. They would have these sleepovers or some like random ass people are sleeping on the floor, and I'm not their friend. It's hard enough to do this when you're friends with someone, and then if it's just kind of a rando and they're doing this, what are you doing?
How long?
So I would wake up and they're like chatting and shit and just like super loud.
Ugh. How long did you have to live there?
I was venting to my brother. Well, maybe like a year, a little more than a year. I was venting to my brother about it. And he was wanting to move. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Well, like, I had never been on my own. So, like, something as simple as thinking about moving never registered in my mind. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a possibility. But I think part of it, too, was, like, I was in a lease, right?
Yeah.
So contractually, I don't know if I was able to. But then I realized the dude whose place I was taking he was still having his mail delivered there. So he was doing some shady shit there. He's probably not paying some tax thing. And if he's doing that shit, he can't like sue me because he's being shady by saying he still lives in his residence. So that was a big epiphany for me. Like, oh, okay, there is no lease. You're faking this stuff.
And then you were out.
I was out.
Yeah, I bet. I can't imagine the feeling. I've had a couple bad roommates. There's nothing better than loading that car that last time and like, I'll never see you guys ever again.
For sure. I've lived alone ever since.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Do you collect anything?
When I was a kid, there was a period where I was collecting shot glasses for some reason. I think I had a cousin who was doing it, and I go, oh, that's cool. For some reason, I thought that was cool. Like, I didn't drink or anything, but I just liked having shot glasses from different places, like Tokyo or, I don't know, New York, and I would collect them for a bit. And then I was collecting movie stubs for a super long time, too, and then I stopped at a certain age. I had a shoebox full of movie stubs.
Uh-huh. Do you save any of your stand-up stuff, like posters or set lists or any of that kind of stuff?
When I go back home, I used to write my set list on index cards, and I do have quite a few stacks of just white index cards with set lists on them. Mm-hmm. And it's not like a memento or something. I don't know. I just never threw them away. I liked having them to kind of reference later or something. Like, what date is this? I have a few things like, Meltdown was going on here in LA, and they would make those cool posters.
Yeah.
I have those because those are nice. Those are kind of like works of art a little bit.
Yeah, those are so dope. Where's the worst place you've ever had to sleep?
Oh, dude. Okay. So I'm still living in Seattle, right? And like I would try out for JFL quite a bit. I think they started seeing me when I was 18. Like that's when the year I started doing stand-up. I was 18. So they had just seen me. I would teeter. Like they would come to Seattle and I would do well, and then they would want to see me in LA, and then I would have to fly out to do the LA showcase. And I didn't really know anyone in LA, but like Matt Ralston had moved out to LA, and he was like, "You could stay at like my place." So it was like a frat house. I think it was him living there, Owen Benjamin, who else? Maybe some other guys, but it was like guys in their early 20s living in a house together. And I'm coming from my parents' place, so I don't even know frat life or anything. I'm accustomed to normal life.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting on this couch or something, and then I took a shower. I go, "Do you have a towel?" He didn't have a towel. He had this like sweater that didn't know who it belonged to. It was like in a lost and found box or some shit. He's like, "You could dry yourself off with this." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" It was just so like Bear Grylls to me.
Yeah. Well, how'd your set go?
Yeah, probably sleeping. I mean, okay. I don't know. I didn't get it that year. And that always sucked too. Just that emotional investment of you fly somewhere to do a showcase or whatever. It sucks because even if it was local, you're already emotionally heightened.
Yeah.
And then when you transport yourself, when there's travel involved, there's even more added to it.
Yeah, and money involved.
and money involved and stakes, all of it. So it just compounds into, I think it's very hard to fly somewhere to crush an audition. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's not
like
ideal.
icing the kicker times 12.
Yeah.
That's why when I did my first special, like this one that's on YouTube or whatever, I wanted to shoot it here in town. So I did it in Glendale. I just wanted to drive to it. I didn't want to make it. I just wanted it to be as much like another day as possible.
Yeah.
Not this, let me fly to this new city, and why, especially when it's your thing, why make it more foreign than it needs to be? No,
I agree. I would, if I shot mine, I'd want to shoot it somewhere I was comfortable, where I knew everything I knew about. That's why I always tell comics, like the first night when I go to a club, I'm never really nervous, but it's just like feeling it's anxious and like feeling the room, and then I'm fine after that. But it's not really.
Thursday is always a calibration show.
Yeah,
you're in a new city, it's a new space. it's maybe a new set for you, just the way you're placing everything.
Yeah.
And then Friday and Saturday is usually great, but
and then
being comfortable with your surroundings is crucial.
And then Sunday's awful, and I just want to go home.
Yeah.
What moment in life were you the most scared?
Let's see. I'm scared. Once I did shrooms and I was freaking out a bit just internally.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we were in Malibu, and I just went in. I think too much, you know?
Uh-huh.
And not in a bad way where it's crippling or anything. I'm just like a heady guy. I think it's good when it comes to my day-to-day life and what I need to do. And if you're task-oriented and I don't know, want to be like production-driven and stuff like that, it's good for that. Because you're always thinking, like, what do I got to do? What's next? Blah, blah, blah. But I think shrooms is just sort of like having no leash, and then that's tough. Because then it just keeps on the thoughts. You can't even, like, I can compartmentalize them now, and they're like Lego pieces and all that stuff. But on shrooms, it's like resonant frequency, and it's too much.
It's crazy.
And you're trying to figure out answers to things you don't know the answers to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm
like talking about life and all this shit and how small we are in the universe and all that, and then that thought begets another thought, and it just won't stop.
Yeah, I've never done them. I'm scared to death to think where my mind would go and what would happen. I'm
proud of myself for doing it just for the experience, because I think younger me wouldn't have done it. I think part of being a comedian or just experiencing life and maybe doing things you normally wouldn't do, and not being so closed off to everything.
Uh-huh.
Of course, that doesn't mean that I just do everything in the world, but I think I'm definitely a little more open to life and experiences than I was when I was a little more sheltered, say, living at home.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, for sure. What's the one embarrassing story your family always tells about you?
All right, there's every Thanksgiving. So one Thanksgiving, my mom's a great cook, and she's cooking the turkey. People are going to come over. And I'm a little kid, and it's in the daytime, so the turkey is just cooking in the oven, and I got nothing to do, and I'm easily entertained. So I just want to watch the turkey cook in the oven. So I turned the oven light on, and I just kind of plop down in front of it, and I'm watching it cook. And then I'm sort of enamored by some of the buttons and levers and stuff on the oven. So I just see this lever, and I go, this is interesting. I'm just fiddling. And I pull this lever all the way to the right, and it won't come back to the other side. And apparently I activated the self-cleaning mechanism for the oven.
Oh, no.
And there's no way to turn it off until it's done self-cleaning.
Oh, shit.
So it's almost like a Saw movie where the turkey is stuck in this oven. and I basically we're in the process of me ruining Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it hasn't been done yet, but ripples are like shockwaves are rippling through the party at what's happened. And my dad and like my uncles and stuff had to like defuse this bomb, and they had to get a screwdriver and really fiddle with the oven to bust this turkey out. And eventually they did, and Thanksgiving was saved. But every Thanksgiving, they're like, do you remember when you... And I'm like, yes, I do remember. I do remember where I was the Grinch that almost stole Thanksgiving.
That's funny. How old were you?
I don't know. Maybe I was like 10 or 12, or I don't know. But yeah.
Oh, God. I can't imagine all my family members being so mad if you messed up
Look,
the turkey.
Look, I want to... It's easy to put the blame on me, but when you break it down, that's just bad engineering.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, see, that's...
Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the engineers who designed this oven. Why do you have a self-cleaning mechanism with no board?
Yeah, that's very true.
What if that's why I got into engineering?
Yeah, that's...
Make sure this never happens again.
So you went through the engineering thing, but knowing you want to be a comic, that was just to like appease your parents or backup plan, or what was your plan with that?
Yeah, it was twofold. One, it was my parents were going to pay for college, so and like that was kind of one of the degrees I could get and have them still pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't going to pay for like find yourself degrees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't going to pay for me to just like have a good time. So that, and then also I was thinking about what degrees to get where I could support myself afterwards, because this whole comedy adventure, whatever thing I'm doing, was going to be solely dependent on me. I was going to have to rely on me. Like they weren't going to give me money to pursue this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So engineering is a good job outlook, and almost every state needs engineers. So it was partly to appease my parents, partly so I was able to go to college and have them pay for it.
Uh-huh.
And then also to be able to get a decent job when I do apply for one in LA.
So did you end up getting a job?
Yeah, I was working at Boeing in Long Beach, Boeing Aerospace.
For how long did you do that?
I was there for like 3.5 years.
Oh, damn. Man, that's just so smart. None of us comics ever have the foresight to be like, we're going to need money at some point.
Totally. I don't get it. Because, look, even if you're chasing whatever your dream is as artists, you're still working in the daytime.
Yeah.
So what's the difference if, and a lot of people still go to college anyways, but they just squander it a little bit. It's more of like summer camp for them than it is setting themselves up for the future. Like you may have a little less fun in 4 years to make your life easier down the line. Because instead of being a waiter, not that there's anything wrong with being a waiter, but like your daytime is still eaten up by your job.
Yeah.
Why not have it be a dope job and possibly a career if things don't pan out?
Yeah, no, it's
because 4 years is 4 years. Why don't you just do the thing?
Yeah. And then I'm sure, and like you said, you are I think you're probably the first comedian I've ever had on here that had like one roommate in your life. And that was kind of more just, you didn't even really know what you were doing, but you're like, and I went through that and I've lived alone I was like, that might be, of all the cool shit you've done in life, that I think all of us comics
I never really thought about
are
that.
Jealous of. I'm like, God, that was...
Dude, I should lead with that. Like, I think that's the language everyone can speak then and be like, oh, okay, no roommates. Yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, no roommates in LA this whole time I mean, JFL's impressive, but I'm just like, God, he is doing it right.
Yeah.
Well, okay, speaking of LA and Hollywood, like what was your first crazy LA night when you're like, I can't believe I'm here, or I'm with this person, or the first like starstruck, like I'm not in Seattle anymore?
So I would hang out at the Improv. You know this, like when you're sort of new to a comedy scene or whatever, part of it's hanging out. You're not getting up a whole lot because no one knows who you are yet. You're sort of a runt in a certain comedy scene, but you can still hang out at the Improv. So I would hang out there, and I think one night I saw Adam Sandler and Kevin James. I think this was around when I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry or whatever was coming out. So they were shooting that movie and hanging out a lot. And I just saw them out front of the Hollywood Improv, and then they went inside. And, I'm a few feet away on the sidewalk, but that was kind of big for me just because they were just people in TV and movies before then, and then now they're actual human beings, and I'm actually in this sphere or whatever, or in this physical space. So it's no longer a fantasy land.
Yeah.
So that was interesting for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then I think at that house when I was staying at Ralston, they're doing a party one time, and like Swartzen is playing ping pong, and I love Swartzen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, cool. So that was fun.
Yeah. Well, and now it's it's a different world. People always ask me, and like, the Comedy Store is the greatest place in the world. So, like, I always ask, like, what was your first, like, because you went through the Tommy process, right?
Yeah.
So,
I was there during Tommy years.
Or what's your favorite Comedy Store night that you've ever had there? Well, and like give me an early one, and then now obviously it's like the coolest place in the world, but
yeah. So I went around the dark ages. So I was living in Long Beach, and then I never really hung out around the Comedy Store, but then just doing mics around town and stuff, I met Chris D'Elia, and we're both kind of just nobodies, but we became friends. And around that time, I think he got passed at the Comedy Store, and he'd be like, "Yo, come hang out at the Comedy Store." So because I had a friend like at the Comedy Store, it gave me an excuse to hang out at that place. Whereas before, there was no reason for me to go there really. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll see my friends. I'll hang out. So I would go there, and then by hanging, like you always need a regular to vouch for you, or it makes things a little easier if you go, this guy's funny, and you kind of insist them a little bit, or at least they have their eye on you to go through the process instead of being a complete random,
Yeah, for sure.
So Chris would always tell Tommy, be like, "Yo, this guy's really funny. Like you should take a look at him." And then I started coming to the open mic. They would have me come to the open mic, and he would play these games and stuff. You'd have to stick around forever. I would go up at 1:30. Like he would tell you, it was like the mental Marines or something. Just the way they would mind fuck you. They would say you're up next, and then it ends up being an hour or two later that you go up. Or sometimes you wouldn't even go up after you were told you were going up in 3 or something, because the list kept on changing as it moved from hand to hand. So it was annoying. And then one time, I think it happened on, like I had work the next day and I wasn't going up, and I told Tommy, I go, "Look, I respect the system and I'm willing to play ball, but like I have a day job. I work at Boeing. I can't come here if I'm not going to go up.
Yeah.
Like I'm willing to do what I need to do, but I have to at least know I'm going to go up." And then there was less dicking around for me, at least after that. They were still waiting around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But finally I got passed. And then when you get passed, there's all these, you reach all these milestones at the Comedy Store. You reach the top, and then you start at the bottom again for this new phase. So even though I got passed, now I'm going up super late at the Comedy Store as a paid regular. So I'm going up at like 1 a.m. or 1:15, and so it's a very different vibe. But as a younger comic, it's actually beneficial. I think it's good. I think some people could take it one of two ways. They could be like, "Why the fuck am I performing? It doesn't matter. Nothing matters." And if you have that attitude, it's not good. I think it's toxic, and comedy is supposed to be about fun and levity and laughter. And if you go into it with that "why are we here" attitude, those people are in those chairs like they want to be there. It may not be ideal, or it's not a packed crowd, but like they still want to be there. So it just kind of taught you to have a good attitude, and also it taught you not to be afraid of small numbers, but people are people, and that there are no stakes. Because you would perform at 1:30 a.m. and you're like, "Oh, nothing matters." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no need to be nervous. There's nothing to be nervous about. These are it's almost comical. It's nihilistically funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So it was great for that, just because some people can be great joke writers, but if they're balled up with stress or fear and performing, it's hard to hear the brilliance of those jokes if the performer doesn't look comfortable, or if they're not in the moment of what's really happening in the room. And late night OR really teaches you to acknowledge the room that you're currently in and what's happening. You can't be on autopilot.
Yeah. It was wild.
You can't look at the ceiling and just deliver some jokes to 5 people. It's weird. You can do that with a packed room of 200 people, and some people will still think that it's like decent stand-up comedy. Just when it's stripped away, when you take the people away, you have to be more real. So it's good to teach you that lesson. But I think Tommy had me doing that for way too long. So like I got the lesson after a while, but he kept me there for a while. And then finally I was able to break out of it, and it was good. And then Adam took over, and then it's been great.
Yeah, now it's...
And yeah, like everyone's come back, Rogan's come back, and I'll talk to him in the green room. That's just kind of cool too. You just know guys as comedians and stuff, and then you forget like what a big impact Rogan has beyond being a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
We're just fortunate that this figure happens to be into stand-up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now he's the king. Well, that's an interesting question. Like when you knew you were going to do Rogan, were you nervous about that, or did you feel comfortable about him? Or, I mean, in this day and age, doing Rogan is like the biggest thing you can do, I think.
I think so too. Like, I've done 3 late nights, and Rogan is still bigger than those 3 that I've done.
Yeah.
It's just a testament to the times. Yeah, I was on a plane, and then I got a text from Rogan. He's like, "Yeah, do you want to do the pod?"
Oh,
I'm like, "Of course!" Like, who the fuck would say no?
Yeah.
Also, I remember the day we're supposed to do it. He's like, "Hey, I'm running behind, 30 behind. Is that okay?" And I wanted to be like, "Who would say no?" You know?
That's awesome.
No, Joe Rogan, it's not okay. Fahim Anwar is out.
Yeah. So you're just on a plane and you just get a text and you're like, "Oh shit!" Like,
yeah, I was coming back. I was doing some shows in Europe. Like, I had a little European tour thing going on, so I was in the sky, and then I got a text. He was like, "Yo, do you want to come do the podcast?" And I actually had to delay it a day because I was getting in, but it still worked out, luckily.
yeah.
But luckily, we had chatted at the store and stuff, so there was already a rapport, and we already knew each other. It wasn't like I was going into it cold. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
awesome.
I think that would have been a little more nerve-wracking, like not knowing Joe.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. Well,
Yeah.
the few times I've got to talk to him, it's just like he's just a comic. Like,
He's just a cool dude, and he's a very inclusive
coolest
guy too. He'll go out of his way to say hello, and because I'm the type too where I'm always worried about, or I don't want to bother someone, or I want to give someone their space and all that. But especially early on, not knowing him, he would kind of go out of his way to say what's up, and it may seem like nothing, but that's a big thing to do, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I see people like tweet at him like comics. They're always shitty comics if you don't really. But I'm like, oh, you're an idiot. You don't ask to be on Rogan. Do you not know how this works? Like,
yeah,
or
I know.
I'll see him like try to subtweet him like, and they'll have him in. They're like, everyone's asking like when I'll be on Joe Rogan. Like and I'm like, dude, don't. It's never been
like,
someone
I
I actually.
have on if everyone's asking. I had to.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you got. In my head, I'm like, it's never anybody good or that even really has a chance at Rogan. But I'm just like, dude, you think he's just gonna see that and be like, oh, I guess I should. 12 of your friends think you should be on my show. I'm like, oh, you're a fucking idiot.
I always have this theory where I'd rather someone not know who I am than them know who I am and have a bad impression of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Especially in this world.
So that's one of those things. That's one of those things where when the time comes, or organically, if it comes up, but sometimes the ask is so much where it's not worth them thinking of you. And each situation is different, but
well, it's hard to flip that.
Like
if you
had asked someone, exactly. You can't undo first impression.
I mean, it takes over time. I mean, there's been times that I didn't like people, or there's been times when I've been a douche initially, and then I had to dig my way out of that hole. Obviously, as you grow older, you realize, but I mean, there's times like, fuck, I do want to be friends with this person, but I guess it could have been a lot easier if I wasn't such a douche that first time. But then when I was young, I think I thought it was like, one of the biggest mistakes I made was like trying to convince better comedians why they should be friends with me. And I'm like that, or like say my credits or something, you know, I'm like, you should just listen. And the advice I always give people like about lucky enough to know famous people, like you don't need to explain to them why they should be friends with you. You should just say you're a big fan and listen. And then I've had much better success than that than being like, hey, I'm like, but when you're young, you don't know any better. Well, speaking of that, who have you met in life that made you the most nervous?
Let's see. I'm most nervous. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've done some auditions before where, like, one time I auditioned for Norman Lear. You know, he was like this TV legend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he did All in the Family. He did, I forget what else, but like tons of shit. And I think I was just through my head about like how big this guy was or whatever, and I didn't do what I wanted to in the room.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think who else. I mean, you meet so many people as you do stand up there.
Well, how about this question? It's crazy. Like you, for instance, you said you started with Chris. Does it just blow your mind how famous he is now?
Well, that's the thing too. Like, you're stand up for long enough, you just see all your friends. Like Hassan, I've known forever. Like he got really big, and then like Theo too. I've known Theo forever.
Yeah.
Like me, him, and Francisco Ramos, we had some. I remember in the early years, he had this corporate gig for some guy who was like a regional manager of Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Like his daughter was having a graduation thing, and he hired Theo to perform in his like, he had a basketball court in his backyard, and that's where they had a show. It was this weird adventure that we were on. So we're in the Poconos, me, Francisco Ramos, and Theo, and we're on jet skis and shit, and we have this weird basketball court show. And then years later to see him take off, like he's big now too.
Yeah.
But these are just guys that I know, you know? Like,
it's crazy. I mean,
that's the weird thing too. You see society change kind of around them, but you just know them as them.
Yeah. It's, people ask me now, it's like, you ever heard of Bert Kreischer or Tom Segura? I was like, man, I used to open for those guys. I opened for Sebastian for one weekend, and there's like 100 people at shows on Fremont Street in Vegas, and it's like,
yeah, Joe Coy too.
Yeah, like, these guys are like, it's crazy, but it's cool. I'm happy for them, but it blows my mind sometimes.
I guess it's kind of refreshing. You see enough of these cases, you go like, oh, these aren't like, they're just part of.
Yeah,
it's easy to put it in like, I'm trying to think. Sort of like a fantastical box or something, but if it happens enough times, you go, oh, this is just part of the business.
Yeah.
And
we have
X, Y, and Z.
Well, it's like, as far as doing auditions for film, like acting, was acting a goal in the beginning, or was stand-up, or how did that all come together?
So I think I only thought so far as, I got into stand-up because of like, how do you get on SNL?
Uh-huh.
That was my whole beacon. And then I researched, and it was either improv or it was stand-up. And I researched both of them, and just stand-up seemed more my speed. And as you do it, other opportunities will come up. Like you'll get an audition for a thing. And so there's these offshoots of stand-up. And you've got to realize the model has changed with technology and everything. And of the times. Like we just said, doing Rogan is bigger than doing late night. There was a time when doing late night made you.
Yeah.
And that is a thing of the past. And back in the day, like in the 90s, the early 2000s, the whole goal of a comedian was to do stand-up so that you could get on a sitcom, and that was just the playbook. Do stand-up to get on a sitcom. That helps ticket sales on the road and maybe act in other things. But now being on a sitcom doesn't mean anything. No one watches anything. Everything is so segmented. Like unless you're Game of Thrones, you're nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So what's the point? And so now acting isn't as precious or alluring as it was earlier in my career. If I do an acting thing or want to do one, I would do it because I think it'd be fun, or I really fuck with this project.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing a whatever sitcom and you're locked into this contract, it's a little bit like jail, unless you love it.
Mm-hmm. Well, is Saturday Night Live still a goal or no?
Less so now. That's the other thing too, is some of your dreams and desires were formed before you started on this long road.
Mm-hmm.
And once they kind of become maybe viable things, you have to assess. You go, is this a nostalgia win, or is this a career win at this point in time right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that makes perfect
sense.
Is
this 18-year-old me calling this a W? Or is this, me now calling it a W? Because times can change. Remember, like, you wanted a premium blend, or you wanted a late night.
You want to be on Comedy Central. Like, that was a different thing where, once again, like Rogan, like you said, I've said it's the exact thing you've said. I just haven't accomplished what you have. But I was like, if I could do all 3 late nights or do Rogan, I would walk to Rogan's house before.
Everyone would do what you said.
Yeah. It's a different, but it's just fun. It's crazy. I've said it to you every time I see you, and everybody I know that knows you is like, you should have been on Saturday Night Live, or still should, but it sucks because you would have.
It's nice to hear. I wouldn't mind even being a writer on it. I just love sketch, I love stand up and I love sketch.
Yeah, you're so good at all of it, but I don't know. Lauren Michaels never listens to me, but who knows? Maybe.
Well, I don't know. Like, part of it too is I think if you're not in that sphere, it's hard for them to take note. Like, I'm here in LA, and maybe you can get recommendations from people, but no one really pays attention. But if I was out in New York, it might be a little harder to like look over or something.
Yeah.
So before this whole Corona thing happened, part of me was thinking of splitting my time. We'll see what happens when it all cools out. But I was thinking about maybe spending a little more time in New York.
First of all,
but the cool thing about stand-up, what?
I was going to say, what's more impressive than getting on Saturday Night Live would be if you had a place in New York and LA, no roommates.
Oh, dude. Oh, I know. That'd be the dream.
That would be mind-blowing. But no, go ahead. Sorry. That'd be awesome if you'd split both.
Yeah, because then it'd be because they're based out there, and I think they're a little more New York biased.
Yeah. Well, we're all rooting for you. Everybody I know that
Thanks,
came up with you and everybody knows you is like, every time it comes out, they're like, why haven't they picked you? But it's not. If it's meant to be, I'm sure it will. All right. How about what's your go-to fast food order?
Go-to fast food. Let's see. All right. So it's Chick-fil-A. It'll be the spicy chicken sandwich meal combo, right?
Yeah.
With no pickles. I don't do pickles.
No pickles? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, no pickles. And what do you do?
Well, I do the same, no pickles, but I got a gluten allergy, so I can't do bread anymore, but I do grilled nuggets and then chicken noodle soup, and then I just dump my nuggets in the chicken noodle soup for Monster chicken noodle soup. That's my favorite. With the ice cream. I love the ice cream there too, but I love Chick-fil-A. That's what I miss about living in Hollywood. We were like a block away. We would go there once everyone said it was okay again. Me and Slater boycotted for like 2 years. Down? Yeah, we were like, oh, we can't do it. Our gay friend said no, and then our gay friend's like, we go to Chick-fil-A all the time. And me and Andrew are like, we're fucking going to Chick-fil-A. We're doing Runyon, and we're going to Chick-fil-A.
There's like a website, like a gay website that lets you know when it's okay and when it's not okay to have Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a smog level is too high or something. You go, all right, the gays have listened to the Chick-fil-A band. It's okay, guys. There, and then at Wendy's, I'll do a double-double. Like, I'll forget Wendy's is legit,
I love Wendy's.
I love Wendy's too.
It's funny you said that, because right where I lived in Hollywood that whole time, we had that Wendy's and Chick-fil-A right there, and it was that or Ralph's.
Yeah. That was a nice little corner, man.
Yeah, we had it good. What's the best concert and sporting event you've ever been to?
Best concert. I'm not a big concert guy. Even though I love music, I don't love going to concerts unless I know the band or I'm on some special list. Just because I hate to do. Like, it's so much work, and there's like crowds and waiting in line and all that.
Yeah.
Like the concert doesn't overpower that for me. So I'll try to avoid that. I'm trying to think what concert I've been to. Sometimes doing stand-up, you'll get dope access to do comedy and concerts. So that's a cool way to do it. Like when I do Bumbershoot or something, I'm doing some stand-up, but then you have an all-access pass, so you can watch concerts pretty easily.
Side stage is the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Once you go side stage, there's no way out.
I can never go front now, man.
What about sports? Any big sporting events?
Our Seahawks games are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to watch it at Central Link Field. And also when I was a kid, this is the heyday of the Mariners. Griffey and Jay Buhner and Randy Johnson. So going to those games were great. Yeah. There's nothing more exciting than seeing a Ken Griffey Jr. home run.
No doubt. That was across the country. I can't imagine in Seattle.
Yeah.
we
had the Jordan of baseball.
Yeah, we'd see it, and then we'd go out and try.
When Jordan wanted to be the Jordan of baseball, he couldn't.
And you guys are probably the only ones up there that hated Jordan, if it was even possible.
Oh, man.
Some of the songs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We would have had the championship if he didn't come back, right? Was it 96 or what year? Or was it 99?
I think it was 90. I think it was 96, maybe. I don't know. No, I think it was 90. I don't know. I think it was 96, actually. Seahawks games. They're very fun times.
That's great.
Okay, let me give you a couple more. We'll get you out of here. We said you like music. What song always makes you happy when you hear it?
I mean, I love Michael, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't turn it on myself, but I like it when I hear it out and about. Prince, you know.
Yeah.
Like 80s Prince is good.
Do you have a walkout song ever when you're performing?
Yeah, only recently. I mean, I'll do Bruno Mars, 24 Karat Magic. That just like, it goes hard. It's funky. Yeah. Yeah, I would Bruno.
Yeah, that's a good one. Who, as a dancer, who do you think's the best dancer?
Best dancer?
Like right now?
It's tough. I mean, Chris Brown is good. You know, obviously I don't agree with the stance on
Yeah.
a lot of things, but yeah, he's good. Who else is there?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. As far as like Usher, like, or like when you were learning all of it, you told me, I think you told me you just watch YouTube and that's how you learned it all?
Not YouTube. No, I loved Michael Jackson growing up. So I would record all his music videos on VHS and like concert stuff, and I would slow it down and I would rewind it. So it started by just emulating Michael. And I think Michael is a type of dancer where he feels the music. Mm-hmm. He's not just doing hand dances and moves. He's not doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
Yeah.
He just kind of, he might be doing some learned stuff, but he emotes through dance, or you could feel the music kind of coursing through him as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I always notice that when I see people dancing, like I'm a stand-up comedian, it's just funny that I'm talking about dance this in depth, but just as a fan and an aficionado, I can always tell when someone can feel the music, is dancing because they feel the music, or if they're just almost like tracing over the music with their body.
Yeah. Well, it's my fault. We always talk about it because I'm the worst dancer in the world. I dread it more than anything. And whenever I see you dance, I'm like, God, I wish I could fucking do that, because you just make it look so smooth. But then you're like, I just studied it. And then I remember one time I talked to you about it. I was like, I wonder if I could study it. And then I watched like one video. I was like, I'm just not what you just said. I'll never feel the music. I would be 1, 2, 6. I can't fucking do it. I'm scared of even getting married and stuff. It's like, that is like my biggest fear is like,
look, babe, I would marry you, but I can't dance.
That first dance when everybody's watching, I'm just like, oh God, I hate it so much. It's my only fear really in life is like dancing. So I just am so jealous of how good you are at it. So I'm always trying to look for tips, and then you give them to me, and then I go, I'll never be able to do this shit. But
I think the basics is, can you keep time? You know, it's pretty much.
No.
Can you be on beat, even if it's slight? As long as you're on beat, it's fine.
Yeah, I gotta have some.
And then
alcohol.
also, when someone is kind of trepidatious about dancing, if you're always kind of just like dancing on the edge of dancing, like on a cliff, people know you're on the cliff. But if you just jump, I know it's scary. And like I'm able to jump because I've done it several times, and I think I can dance or at least keep beat, so I can be as free as I want to. But if you have this reservation, it's just going to compound how awkward it is.
Yeah,
because people know. Because you've seen bad dancers who just let loose, and you're like,
yeah, they make
there's kind of there's an entity to it.
And it's crazy too, because my little brother can dance so good. He's like you, he liked Michael Jackson, and he is so good. And I'm just like, and my girlfriend of course won like all these ballroom dancing contests and shit. So it's like my fear. I got to just get through this first dance when we get married.
But at least with ballroom, you can learn those steps and everything, and you're almost more like a coat rack than anything else.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Let's
so that's fine. But if it's freestyle jazz, then you should shit your pants.
I would shit my pants thinking about it. All right, let me ask you a much more fun question. This hurts me. Well, this isn't a fun question, but actually, what's the greatest physical pain you've ever felt?
Physical pain. Let's see. That hurts a lot. One time I broke my wrist, and that really hurt. Yeah, we had this thing called Pillow Night when I was a kid at my buddy's place. He had when you go upstairs, there's kind of that. You know how you can like look over into the living room?
Yeah.
Like over the banister. So we would take all the cushions and stuff from the house and put them in a pile, and we would jump from there into
shit.
Yeah. But it was fine. It was fine. But the person who went before me, I don't think they arranged the pillows very well. So my wrist went through all the cracks, and then, yeah, so that hurt.
Yeah, that's brutal. How old were you?
Maybe like 13 or 14.
Oh, shit. So you had to go cast at school and everything? And
yeah, man.
Who's the person you call when you have a bad day?
Bad day. What do I do? I don't know. I don't really like call some. Well, never gets bad enough where I gotta like. Maybe I can kind of parse it out myself with like music or just thinking about it and kind of. But there's like little things that I want to vent. Maybe I'll hit up Linochi, you know, sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like Hollywood shit, I'm gonna talk to him about it.
Which is funny because
or my manager.
I was just laughing about Linochi because he's like one of the most negative dudes I know whenever I talk to him. So I guess I would just make it better because if I can't imagine talking to him now. Well, I saw him tweet something the other day like,
well, he's good at, like, yeah, he has his quirks and everything, but he's good at putting things in perspective.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I'll think about something and then like he'll put it in perspective. I'm like, yeah, I guess it's really a nothing burger, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. That's funny. What's the best party you've ever been to?
The best party?
Yeah, is there one that sticks out like this shit was crazy?
You know what it is? I think sometimes it's just when parties, it's like a magic that'll happen. You can't plan it.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe when a dance breaks out organically. Because even though I can dance, and you say you're envious of all this stuff, I'm still kind of reserved. I'm not the first guy to hit the dance floor. Like it takes a bit for me to wanna to do that. Just, you know, my temperature. I am reserved, even though I can do these things. I'm not like, hey, let's fucking boogie, everybody. So I have this arsenal, but I don't really. I don't know. It's weird. You got to feel right.
Yeah.
But there have been certain parties where just magically, like a dance floor happens or something. It's just a good time. You can't explain why it happened, and it's not premeditated or forced. For one time, a long time ago, Paige over at the Improv, she had a birthday kind of in the lobby of the Improv. This is before the remodel and everything. And there were no chairs where the dining room is and everything. And there was just like this cool, it was such a fun party. And then that turned into a dance floor, and that was great. I was at JFL, and I think one of the nights, like they had a DJ there, and then it was like some pretty good tunes and everything. And it just, I think me and Angela Johnson maybe started it.
Uh-huh.
And then everyone else started dancing. But she could dance really well too.
Oh yeah? So you guys just take over?
I think, well, she started going, and then we were just kind of like fucking around, kind of going back and forth, and then you turn around, and then it rippled through the bar a little bit, and I go, oh, that's cool, that's fun.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's all about who you're with, really.
Who you're with, and the spontaneity of it, and if it's the right song, it's just, you can't predict it.
That's awesome.
There have been some parties that have everything, like you'll go to, they have all the hors d'oeuvres, they have open bar and all this stuff, and then it's just very like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
it's all right, but it almost feels more like a Hyatt conference or something.
Yeah, there was a couple of times in LA I was like, oh, we're going to this cool thing, and I plan out my outfit and everything, and I was like, this is pretty shitty. Honestly, everybody is so cool. When everybody's so cool, it's really not that cool at all. It's like, I guess we all just stand around, and I mean, there's famous people there, but they were cool, and then I think we all were trying to act cool, and nobody. It wasn't.
It's like doing.
It wasn't. Cool.
It's like doing a stand-up on an industry show.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's
it's
why.
Like an industry party.
Yeah, which is the worst. Well, I think we're all jaded now. I just only want to hang out with comics. It's hard for me to. It's just the safety. All right, plug all your stuff one more time. I got one last question for you. Thank you so much for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course,
you were one of my favorites. Hopefully, you'll be back as soon as this shit lifts up because you crushed last time.
I know.
Comedy work. So
I'd love to.
We'll get back to good. But watch the special right now on Comedy Central, free. Anything else?
So just my Insta. I'll put stand-up clips on there and also sketches and stuff. I like doing little do-it-yourself sketches on my iPhone. So just at Fahim Anwar, so Fahim, and then Anwar. It's all one word. And then on Twitter as well, at Fahim Anwar. So yeah, the special, there's no business like show business. And then we did a sketch show on Comedy Central called Goat Face. That's with Hassan from The Daily Show, Aristotle, and Asif Ali. So that was fun. I was head writer on that.
But you can, and you can find that now on Comedy Central's page, or can they watch that?
Yeah, I think if you type on Amazon, I think you can rent it for like $2 or $3.
Yeah, so go check that out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then I have a podcast as well called Fahim Anwar Dance Hour. I had Santino on the other day. It's cool to just get your buddies on it now, you know?
Yeah, it's great. It's perfect for me.
And he's having a nice little moment, too. He's doing great. He's in that new show, Dave, on FX with Lil Dicky.
Yeah.
He has his own podcast.
He's killing it. He's crushing it. Well, this is perfect. Yeah. All right, last question. Thank you so much for doing this, man. I appreciate it, and I'm sure I'll see you out here soon. But last question. If you could script your last words before you die, what would they be?
What would it be? Let's see. What would be my last words? Maybe have fun. Have fun. Be kind to each other.
Brandt Tobler trying to expand globally. Long curly hair and a beard, but he ain't Toby Keith. You might have thought it's beef, but we gon' handle that. Stealing jerseys off of the wall like fuck Jack. Okay, he ran with that, and now he's on the loose. Put a little bit of poison in his Jamba Juice. Go ahead and drink on that, just take another sip. Need an appraisal, shout out to Ron Huff and Dick. The kids loving this, I know you heard it, son. The purpose is perfect, every person we learn something from. Go ahead and come along, we have a little fun. A few questions, how about 31?